So the Leadership Consortium owes its name and its origin from the fact that a consortium is in essence a grouping and a collective of ideas and thoughts. And it's embedded in the fact that leadership per se is not normally in the hands of one person. It should be a collective, it should involve different perspectives, it should involve a broad spectrum of what is possible from the leadership perspective. The Zenger-Folkman family of colleagues around the world represent a broad group of people who are playing in the leadership space. And our Australian colleagues, Terry Reynolds and Glenn Price, have done a magnificent job in putting together a set of podcasts that address the questions and the recipes within the Zenger-Folkman methodology. These podcasts represent step-by-step, short, bite-sized, normally about 3 to 4 minutes, ideas, concepts, and tips and tricks as to how we can build our extraordinary leadership. So our invitation is to enjoy these podcasts, squeeze as much value as you can out of them, and make it part of building your leadership stepway to extraordinary. The 12th podcast focuses on the concept of building leadership strengths. Typically, we have grown up to believe that it is all important for us to fix our weaknesses before we move into building our strengths. Unfortunately, this is not true, as our international research shows. It's not so unsurprising to find this, as we know that people in general tend to focus 7 times more actively on the negative side of things as opposed to the positive side. Our research, however, has shown through the Zenger-Folkman methodology that by focusing on positive psychology, we can make a more dramatic difference than focusing on any one weakness. Focusing on our strengths is the key element of successful leadership development and deploying it to produce results for the long term.
Welcome to the Leadership Digital podcast series with Glenn Price and Terry Reynolds. Let's imagine that you have a renewed determination to improve your leadership effectiveness. To start the process, you participate in a 360-degree assessment of your competencies. In our experience and our partner Zenger-Folkman, when people get feedback on their behavior, they always seem compelled to focus their attention on the items with the lowest scores. Something in our culture drives us to completely ignore our higher scores and shine a spotlight on the lowest ones. Most people believe that fixing weaknesses will have a more powerful impact on leadership effectiveness ratings than building strengths. Where does this belief come from? Perhaps we learnt this in school. After all, our teachers spent a lot more time correcting mistakes than focusing on what we did well. Or perhaps we feel compelled to be Renaissance people with remarkable talent in every area. Perhaps our performance appraisal process of focusing primarily on deficiencies rather than strengths is to blame. Ultimately, however, this strategy is not the most helpful for getting leaders from good to great. What is much more effective in the long run is to focus on building strengths. Peter Drucker once wrote, "Most problems cannot be solved. Most problems can only be survived, and one survives problems by making them irrelevant because of success. One focuses on success, especially on unexpected success, and runs with it." So here are some strategies for staying focused on strengths rather than weaknesses. Number 1, understand that weaknesses sometimes deserve to be ignored. We can't all be Mary Poppins, famous for being practically perfect in every way. If you've never been good at math, it's unlikely you'll be an engineer anytime soon. Number 2, improve at what you do well. You will get more mileage out of focusing on your areas of expertise and skill. Make them even better. And lastly, number 3, look for the strengths in others. If you want to get your employees from good to great, try encouraging them in their area of talent and strength.
It's a pleasure to be able to share these thoughts and ideas with you and hopefully be part of allowing you to adopt a journey where extraordinary leadership is an opportunity and a growth area for you and your teams.